Rain hammered the windows of Courtroom 3 in Stockholm the morning Elias Winter was supposed to be sentenced. By then, the entire country already believed he was guilty. 3 murders, corporate fraud, witness intimidation, money laundering across 4 countries. The media had called him the Wolf of Sodom. Protesters stood outside the courthouse holding photographs of the victims. News vans lined the frozen street. Even the judge looked tired of hearing his name. And yet, sitting quietly beside Elias was a lawyer who hadn't lost a criminal case in 11 years. Clara Holm. What nobody knew, not the police, not the press, not even Elias himself, was that Clara had already discovered something terrifying 2 nights earlier. One of the prosecution's star witnesses was dead, and according to the official timeline, the witness had died before giving the testimony that convicted Elias in the court of public opinion. That was the moment Clara realized the case wasn't just corrupted. Someone inside the justice system was manufacturing evidence, and if she exposed it, powerful people would fall with it. 3 months earlier, Clara had refused the case. She remembered the first meeting clearly. Elias sat across from her inside a detention facility on the outskirts of Stockholm, wearing a gray prison sweater, his wrists bruised from handcuffs. He looked nothing like the monster from the headlines. No arrogance, no anger, just exhaustion. "I didn't kill anyone," he told her quietly. Clara had heard that sentence 1,000 times from guilty men, but then he slid a photograph across the metal table. A little girl smiling beside a lake. "My daughter thinks I disappeared," he said. "If I lose this case, she grows up believing I'm a murderer." Clara almost walked away anyway. The evidence against him looked impossible to beat. Security footage placed him near the first victim's apartment. A financial trail linked him to offshore accounts in Cyprus. A surviving witness claimed Elias threatened him days before another victim vanished. Even worse, the prosecutor leading the case was legendary. Henrik Dahl had built his reputation destroying organized crime networks. Judges trusted him. Journalists worshipped him. Taking the case meant walking directly into a public execution. But Clara noticed something small in the evidence packet. Too small for anyone else to care about. One surveillance timestamp was altered by exactly 17 minutes. Not hours, not days, 17 minutes. That tiny inconsistency bothered her enough to say yes. And it became the first thread that unraveled everything. The deeper Clara dug, the stranger the case became. The murders themselves appeared unrelated. A banker, a journalist, a logistics executive. Different lives, different neighborhoods, different routines. Police claimed Elias connected them through a fraud network involving shell corporations moving money through Estonia and Latvia. But Clara discovered all 3 victims had something else in common. Weeks before their deaths, each had attempted to contact the same person, prosecutor Henrik Dahl. That wasn't public knowledge. She found it buried in deleted phone records recovered by a private forensic analyst named Michael Rosen. At first, Michael refused to hand over files. "You don't understand who you're touching," he warned her. But Clara pushed harder. What were the victims trying to report? Michael hesitated before answering. A trafficking route. The room went silent. Not human trafficking. Weapons. Military-grade weapons disappearing from evidence lockers in multiple countries. And suddenly, the murders made horrifying sense. Someone had been cleaning up witnesses. 2 days later, Clara's apartment was broken into. Nothing was stolen. Not her jewelry. Not her laptop. Not cash. Only one thing was missing. The printed witness statements connected to Henrik Dahl. It was a message. She reported the break-in to police. But the responding officers barely looked interested. One of them even asked if she was creating drama for the trial. That night, Clara started sleeping in her office. Then came the anonymous phone call. A distorted voice whispered, "You're defending the wrong man." Click. The next morning, Michael Rosen disappeared. No calls. No apartment activity. His office computer wiped remotely. Police claimed he probably fled the country. Clara knew better. Someone was erasing people. The breakthrough came from a mistake nobody expected. A junior court clerk named Sophia Lindberg accidentally forwarded Clara a restricted document while organizing digital exhibits. Inside was metadata from the prosecution's evidence archive. That metadata revealed something explosive. Several pieces of evidence had been uploaded before police officially obtained them, meaning the prosecution had access to evidence prior to the crimes being fully investigated. Clara stared at the screen for nearly a minute. Then she noticed a name attached to the uploads. Henrik Dahl. Not investigators. Not technicians. The prosecutor himself. Her hands started shaking. If Dahl fabricated evidence, it could destroy the entire Justice Department. But proving it in court without getting shut down would require something undeniable. And Clara still didn't know who was truly behind the murders. Until Elias finally broke. It happened during a late-night meeting in a holding room beneath the courthouse. "You're hiding something," Clara told him. Elias looked away. For the first time since the trial began, he seemed genuinely afraid. Then he confessed. Years earlier, Elias worked as a financial consultant for a shipping company operating between Gothenburg and ports in Poland. One night, he discovered falsified cargo manifests. Weapons were being moved inside humanitarian shipments. He reported it anonymously. Days later, his supervisor vanished. After that, Elias stayed silent, until a journalist investigating the same network contacted him months before the murders. That journalist became victim number 2. "You think they framed me because I knew?" Elias asked. Clara answered with chilling honesty. "No, I think they framed you because you almost exposed who was protecting it." The trial changed completely after that. Clara stopped defending Elias as merely innocent. Now she was accusing the prosecution of conspiracy. The courtroom erupted. Journalists flooded the hallways. Television networks ran emergency broadcasts. Henrik Dahl publicly called Clara desperate and unethical. But then Clara introduced the metadata evidence. And Henrik Dahl's confidence cracked for the first time. Still, it wasn't enough. The judge demanded direct proof, connecting Dahl to evidence tampering. That proof arrived from the dead, or rather, from a dead man's voicemail. The murdered journalist had scheduled an automatic cloud upload before his death. The file had remained hidden because investigators logged it under corrupted media. Inside the recording was a conversation between the journalist and an unidentified official. The official said, "If Dahl talks, ministers go down with him." The courtroom froze. Henrik Dahl's face drained of color. Then Clara played the second half of the recording. The voice continued, "Elias Winter will carry everything. People always believe the man already covered in blood." That was the moment the case exploded beyond murder. It became political. Within 48 hours, internal investigators raided multiple government offices in Stockholm. Henrik Dahl resigned before dawn. 2 senior customs officials disappeared. An international arrest warrant was issued for a shipping executive living in Tallinn. And then the final twist surfaced. Michael Rosen, the forensic analyst everyone thought was dead, walked into a secure hearing alive. He had been hidden by an independent anti-corruption unit after uncovering financial transfers linked to the weapons network. His testimony destroyed the remaining prosecution narrative. The altered timestamps, fabricated witness coordination, suppressed evidence. Every piece connected back to Dahl's office. After 6 hours of deliberation, the verdict came. Not guilty on all charges. Elias didn't react at first. He just sat there staring ahead as reporters screamed outside the courtroom doors. Then Clara noticed tears running down his face. Not from relief, from the realization that he had nearly lost his life because powerful men needed a scapegoat. As guards removed his handcuffs for the final time, Elias asked Clara one question. "Was any of this ever really about me?" Clara looked toward the prosecutor's bench, now completely empty. "No," she said quietly. "It was about making sure the truth died before it could speak." Months later, parliamentary hearings exposed one of the largest corruption scandals in modern Swedish history. Several officials were imprisoned. Others vanished before arrest warrants reached them. Henrik Dahl was found dead in a cabin near the border of Norway before his trial began. Officially, authorities ruled it suicide. Unofficially, almost nobody believed that. And Clara Holm? She became famous overnight. But she never celebrated the victory, because buried inside the recovered case files was one final note from the murdered journalist. A sentence written days before his death. If this reaches court, it means they failed to stop me. Underneath, it was a list of names. Most were crossed out. 3 weren't. And every few months after the trial, Clara would receive anonymous envelopes with no return address. Inside each envelope was only a photograph, a different crossed-out name. One by one, someone was still finishing the list. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like this video and subscribe for more gripping true crime stories, courtroom dramas, and shocking investigations every week. Turn on notifications so you never miss an upload. What do you think? Was Elias targeted from the beginning, or was he simply in the wrong place at the wrong time? Drop your thoughts in the comments below. We'd love to hear your opinion. Thanks for watching, and stay tuned for more unbelievable crime stories and mysteries.